Hello, Dr. Taylor here. This is a video on course organization for physics at Del Tech on D2L. D2L stands for Desire to Learn, and it's just the computer platform that Del Tech uses to post all of its online courses. Aside from emails, you can find all the electronic communications and course materials here. Any policy, guideline, or rule mentioned in this video can also be found in the Policies and Expectations document that I provide to you during week 1, so I highly recommend you print it out so you have a hard copy available. All right, first log on to mydtcc.edu. That's all one word, mydtcc.edu, using your Del Tech username and password. And at this point, I'm going to shut off my image. Okay, so once you've opened up the page, you're going to see on the left a number of tabs in blue here, and some of these you might find useful: student resources, student information, your Del Tech email, but the one we're going to focus on is courses/D2L. So let's click on that, and you're going to immediately get a page of courses that you're both currently taking and have taken in the past, depending on which of these semester tabs you tap at the top here. So let's click on the course that we're currently taking, and we're going to get a welcome announcement welcoming us to the course. And you can see right at the top of this is my name and my contact information, my email, mg.taylor@dtcc.edu. This is the primary method of communication with me during the semester. But in addition, you also see 2 different Zoom links, which will be very important to you if you need help during the semester. One is for office hours, and the office hour times are posted, as well as a active link by Zoom to meet for office hours. So this is a virtual office hours, not physical. You also see a link to the Virtual Tutoring Center, and this is where you can find tutors for all the different subjects at Del Tech, in particular physics, obviously. And you can see my particular hours for this semester, but they're going to vary from semester to semester. So please check your particular welcome page to see what the hours are that semester. I also have a list of the hours currently for that particular semester for all tutors at the Virtual Tutoring Center, the VTCC. So make sure you take advantage of that if you need any kind of help. If you ever have occasion to meet with me privately off hours that is not office hours or not my Virtual Tutoring Center hours, use the office hours Zoom. So if I'm at the Virtual Tutoring Center, if that's one of my times, log on to that Zoom. But any other time, log on to our office hours Zoom, which I'll open for us if we have a private meeting. So here's a list of the things to expect. And I have 6 bullet points, but if you scroll down further, there's a lot of important policy information that I'm going to touch on as I'm talking through these various 6 points. So if we look at this, point number 1, is that all our weekly lesson plans are posted. They're posted as announcements, and they also appear in the course schedule, the overall course schedule, which you can look at and link to any week's assignments or assessments. Number 2, all lectures are posted as videos. These are 24/7. There are no scheduled Zoom classes that we're meeting, though I might occasionally schedule some office hours to cover any particular topic that might be of interest as an aside, but they're certainly not mandatory to go to. But these are your video lectures, the lectures for the semester. So it's your responsibility to make sure you watch them. They all have closed captions so that you can see the words. They're not perfect, but they're pretty close. Be sure to follow the schedule and watch the lecture videos according to the schedule. I recommend you first print out the chapter slide presentations, and that way you can use them to follow along with the videos while you're watching them and take notes. All right. Number 3, all labs are virtual labs. That means you're not actually physically in the lab on campus. You're going to open up your document, a PDF or Word document, and you'll have active links in there to online physics simulations or videos. Depending on your device, you might have to hold the Command or Control button down when you click on those links in your labs. Number 4, all the problem sets are posted, and all of the labs are virtual labs, as I just mentioned, that you can do on your own. So you can do all of these on your own, but you can always get help if you need to. It's perfectly okay to get help on the labs and problem sets from tutors. Just let me know that you're using a tutor. Now, I'm aware that answer keys are floating around online for the problem sets and possibly even the labs. Note that some of the answers on these answer keys are either incomplete or just plain wrong. So please use your discretion if you're going to follow those, and please do your own work. If you absolutely insist on using these, you must demonstrate you understand what you're copying and that on whatever it is you've submitted, either the problem sets or the labs. What does that mean? It means that if there's a calculation or some thought process, you have to show your work. If the question requires a written answer, it should be in your own words, okay? Make sure I know that you understand what you're writing. If you don't follow these guidelines, points will be deducted. But in any case, always be sure to read the instructions to any question or lab very carefully. I found that the vast majority of points that a student loses on labs or problem sets were due to either misreading the question or not carefully considering the many helpful hints and suggestions throughout the assignment. Okay, the most successful students are the ones who carefully read these instructions and hints and then apply the information to their answers. All right, number 5, all the exams and practice exams are online. So make sure you're following the schedule. These exams must be monitored, the regular exams, not the practice exams. The regular exams must be monitored using a test monitoring software called Respondus Lockdown, and it requires a web camera. So because of this, our department chairman has asked me to request that all students have a working webcam on their desktop, laptop, tablet device, whatever device you're using. Unfortunately, there are some computer devices that are not compatible with Respondus Lockdown software, including some non-Apple tablets and some Chromebook-like devices. This is why I've included a quote-unquote fake quiz in your schedule that you'll use to install the software in advance on your laptop, desktop, or iPad, tablet, or whatever device actually works. And you only have to do this a single time for all future exams. Please try to use this fake quiz as soon as possible so we can fix any technical issues before you have to take the exam, before the deadline comes up. Now, if you absolutely cannot find a compatible device with a camera, you have 2 other options. Deltec has a laptop lending program that I'm going to mention later in this video, or you can take the exams at a testing center at one of Deltec's 4 campuses. Now, if you plan to use a testing center, you have to notify me in advance because I need to fill out paperwork and send it to the curators of the testing center. So please make sure you let me know. Don't just go to the testing center without any advance notice. Now, remember, it's your responsibility to keep track of the open and close dates for any exam. All exams are open for a week, or maybe even more in some cases. But each exam will close at 11:59 p.m., in other words, a minute before midnight, on the final open day. Practice exams are available online as well. You'll be able to see your score, but they will not affect your grade. And you can take these over and over again. They don't require Respondus software, and I recommend you take them as many times as you want until you get a very high score in order to prepare you for the actual exams. They're considerably longer than the actual exams, so don't freak out when you see a lot of questions. I put a lot of questions to help you prepare better for the exams. All right, I wanted to add another word about exams, so I'm going to slide down here to this section here on policies, and I've included a number of policies that we've already been talking about. They're all in the Policies and Expectations document, but I wanted to focus on policies relating to exams. And you'll notice this includes what is allowed on an exam and what is absolutely forbidden on an exam. So the allowed exam resources that you can use on all exams, including the final, are the reference handout packet, which is currently 17 pages. I provide to you in the first week. Print it out. You need a hard copy. You can't use an electronic copy during a monitored exam. You can also use a scientific calculator and scrap paper and whatever you need to write with. All right, forbidden exam resources. textbooks of any kind, outside handouts, your notes, anybody else's notes, problem sets, labs, other people, any internet searches or internet sources. These are all absolutely forbidden during the exams. Okay, so let's quickly talk about final exams. Final exam is absolutely optional, all right? You don't have to take it. It can only help you, okay? It can't hurt your grade. It will replace your lowest exam score, your regular exam score, as long as you didn't get a 0 in that exam because you were caught cheating. If you get a super low score on your final, it won't be used to replace your regular exam grade, so you won't be penalized. Now, if you have any issues with the various exams, including technical issues or due dates, please email me as soon as possible. If this happens, please don't panic, even if it's late at night. If I don't see the email to the next day, we'll just deal with it the next day. I'm not going to hold you responsible for system errors, which do unfortunately happen from time to time. All right, scrolling back up here. Number 6, each school week will end on a Sunday, and the new week starts on a Monday. Unless there's a holiday, I'll delay when something is due. You'll notice there's also a mention about grades. I mentioned this in the orientation video that you should have already watched, but it's very important that you score a passing grade in all 3 composite grades: your overall grade, your lab grade only, and your lecture grade. Lecture grade is what we call everything that's not labs. In this case, it's exams and problem sets. Let's take a look at a regular weekly lesson plan. So here's a week 1. They're going to vary because in the summer it's an accelerated plan, so there's going to be more in each week, especially in the first week. But let's take a look. And this is the lesson plan to tell you everything you need to do that week. And there's always a lot to do the first week. So you have the videos here, and you're watching one of those right now. You're going to see the orientation video, which you already watched. The organization video, which is this one right here. And there's even a video that allows you to orient yourself with thinking about science in general, physics in particular. It's called Chapter 00. You'll need to look over the Welcome to Online Physics reference document as well. And I have a link directly to it here. And this has a lot of the information that I'm telling you right now in this video. If you want to have a printed copy, you can print that out and take a look at it. Also has a lot of reference information for various support services that Deltec offers. I highly recommend you at least take a look at it. The policies and expectations document that I already mentioned. This has the complete list of all the policies and expectations for the course, including the ones that I just scrolled by in the welcome announcement. Make sure you read the whole policies and expectations document. Please have a hard copy available in case you have questions. All right, so in addition, I've also provided you a 17-page, it's currently 17 pages, reference document. This is a physics formula and reference sheet. Please print out a hard copy today, okay? Have it ready the first week of class, All right, if we jump down a little further here, we see a link to the overall course schedule that I just mentioned. This shows you the information and links from all weekly lesson plans in one location, along with the due dates for every assignment or assessment. And the last item in this list here is the student questionnaire. You can either do this online or print it out and scan it. Please submit any information that you're comfortable providing, but I strongly recommend you include at least your Deltec email address, which I usually have, but not always, and any other email address that you want me to include in mailings, because you absolutely have to check your email every single day, especially in case of emergencies. On multiple occasions, we've had students who did not check their email daily and missed very important information that could have prevented them from failing the course. So please check your email every day. If you don't check your Deltec email, give me an email you will check. All right, so no information on this questionnaire will be shared that you haven't already provided to the college for publication, and I wouldn't share it without your permission. All right, so the weekly announcements also include links to any chapters that we're working on, and this includes the presentations shown here at the top, as well as links to the video lecture. So in this particular case, the video links are actually back up here where it says week 1 videos, including the orientation videos. These times are going to vary from semester to semester, but there are videos in the week 1 for both orientation and the organization that we're doing right now, as well as the actual course material chapter videos. Now, I should point out the videos, the lecture videos for each chapter will range from 40 minutes to 120 minutes, depending on which chapter we're working on. For some of the longer presentations, the material is split into 2 videos. So if we scroll back down here, you'll see that the slide presentations that accompany the course material videos here come in 2 versions. Every one of them, we have chapters 0, 1, and 2 shown in this particular example, and there are 2 versions of each one. The top version is a PDF, the bottom version is a PowerPoint. The PDF, the top one, is much better if you want to view it online in D2L right on your screen without downloading it, and it's also better if you want to print it in that version. If you want to download it onto your computer, so you have an actual copy of the presentation on your device, it is better to use the second one, the PowerPoint version. This is better for viewing on your computer because it has active animation with each slide that can help illustrate certain points in the lecture. If you don't want that, go ahead, use the PDF. It's up to you which version you prefer. And there are always going to be versions for every unit that we're working on for that particular week. Now, as for lab assignments, when you open up a typical lab, you'll see 2 sets of instructions at the top and 2 formats of the actual labs at the bottom. If you prefer to handwrite your answers on the lab and scan your lab for submission, then use the PDF version and follow the instructions. Now, this next comment about the PDF is very, very important. If you do plan to scan your labs, please scan them as a single document with all the pages shown in order, right side up. Otherwise, grading your submitted work is very difficult and very time consuming, so I'd appreciate your help with that. If you don't have a scanner and you still want to use the PDF version, you can always use your phone camera instead, and there are free online apps like Adobe Scan or Notes app that's actually available on iPhones, or you can use a free, easy-to-use online program like combinepdf.com. That's all one word, COMBINE PDF, combinepdf.com, for merging photos together into a single PDF, or merging PDFs or merging JPEGs into one big PDF. Now, if you don't have access to a scanner and you don't want to go through this, you can always type your answers using the Microsoft. Now, as for the problem sets, however, they're only available as PDF files, so I have no control over that. So you'll have to either scan, or some of you have access to software that allows you to directly write on the PDF files right on your computer screen. If you don't have that, I highly recommend you find that, but I'm not familiar with that software for my particular use. Anyway, they have to be a single document just like labs, so please make sure the final copy is a single document with all the pages in order and upright. So let's return to the top here, to our blue menu bar, and let's look at the headings here. We have 5 headings: content, activities, tools, grades, and help. Now the content page, not surprisingly, is where you're going to find the course content. So let's click on that. And you can see that on the left, there are 4 main folders. Start here, course schedule, backup information, and support services. Now you'll notice there's another heading that says course schedule. Ignore that. That's not the real course schedule. That's a default setting that D2L puts in. So the real course schedule is in bold here, all caps. So the first of these 4 folders is Start Here. So when we click on Start Here, you see the various items in here, including the orientation videos that you're watching right now, the student questionnaire that we've already talked about, and we've already discussed my contact info. Now when we click on the course schedule folder, You'll see a course schedule. This is usually divided up into 15 weeks for the spring or fall semester and 10 weeks for the summer semester. So in this case, it's a 10-week example, and this is an accelerated course, so everything goes much faster. And when you look at the schedule itself, you'll see it's divided in a number of categories. We have the week with the dates that are included in that week. Most weeks start with a Monday, except the first week. We have what video lectures and documents that you need to print out or read. You're only going to find documents typically in the first week. The rest of it's going to be the videos for each chapter. And then if we look at the virtual lab assignments here, these are the labs that you're responsible for each week. In this particular example, there are no labs. So, but check your schedule. Your schedule may have labs in it in the very first week, especially if you're in an accelerated course. And then the last heading are the problem sets and exams that are due that week, or at least open that week with due dates that tell you when they're due. Now, as you can see, every item in the schedule is an active link where you can find the assignment or assessment, and all the due dates are shown. Just be sure to keep to the weekly schedule to maximize your success in the class. If we go back out of the schedule, and we go back to the contents, you'll see the next folder is backup information. Now, backup information, you really don't need to go here very often. This is just if you can't find something that was actually originally listed in a weekly announcement or maybe in the course schedule, and you can find the various items in the backup information. So we have a copy of the physics formula sheet, the various weekly lectures, the labs, the problem sets, the policy and syllabus documents, the various unit presentations, either in PDF format or PowerPoint format. So you have all these different backup items that you can go for, but you really don't need to go here. Everything is already linked for you in either the course schedule itself or the weekly lessons. All right, and the last folder in here is the support services, and this is where you'll find links especially to the virtual support center. This is probably the most important item in this list, and when you click on this, you're going to find a web page for Dell Tech listing the various student support services. And there are just an enormous number of different services that are free for you to use. The vast majority are free, maybe all of them are free. These include links to advising, to library, admissions, billing, the bookstore, which will be important for buying your textbook for this or any other class, career services, disability support for any type of disability. Please contact them if you're not sure if you qualify. There might be situations where certain learning disabilities would certainly be considered, and you would get some kind of accommodation, possibly even including extra time on exams. There's mental health support, financial aid, smart thinking. This is an off-campus tutoring service that's available to students. There's a link to student life, technology. Technology is a good place to find laptop lending. If you are in need of a laptop device that is compatible with Responda software and has a camera, talk to the people at technology support. They might be able to help you. And then we scroll down and we have testing centers. There are 4 testing centers, one at each of the 4 campuses, and the tutoring center. This is where you can get links to the virtual tutoring center, where a number of different tutors in all different subjects are available for you to get help. This is absolutely free. You don't need appointments, though appointments can occasionally help if there's a big demand for the tutors. So we have a lot of different services that are free to you. I strongly recommend you flip through this page and find out exactly what is available. So let's go back to the activities menu. And the activities menu has a number of different headings. And the most important ones to you are assignments and quizzes. Now, you really don't need to go here because the assignments are the labs and the problem sets. You already have links in the course schedule and you have links in the weekly announcements. But this is just another place to find them. And the same is true with quizzes. Quizzes is what D2L calls any type of test. The quizzes, the exams, the practice exams, and the final exams They're all there, but you don't need to use this again because they all have links already in your course schedule and your weekly announcements. So let's go to the tools menu here in the blue bar at the top. And again, there are a lot of items in here, most of which you're probably not going to need. The announcements is just where you can find all of the individual weekly announcements if you don't want to go to the main page to look for them. So you can find all the announcements that are posted throughout the semester. They're all going to be there. Discussions is if anybody starts a discussion board. We don't have one currently. And system check is if you want to make sure that your hardware and software are appropriate for accessing D2L, though you're already in D2L, so it's kind of a moot point. Now, if we slip over on the blue menu to grades, you'll see there are two headings here. There's class progress, where both you and the instructor can see how much material you've accessed throughout the semester, and grades. So when you click on grades, you're going to get this table of all the different individual scores that you got on all your problem sets and your labs, as well as exams, and even the practice exams, which don't count, and then the final. And since the final will replace the dropped grade, this will show you what grade was dropped in the process. But you'll also see a couple of composite grades at the top. And these are extremely important, and you must keep track of them. The lab grade, which is the average of all your labs, and the lecture grade, which is the average of everything else. It's the weighted average of your exams and your problem sets. If you had quizzes, those would be in there too. So you must have a passing grade in your lab grade. In other words, a 69.5, which rounds to a 70 in labs, a 69.5, which rounds to a 70 in lecture grade, as well as your overall grade, which will also appear in the sheet once you start accumulating grades. And Deltec policy absolutely states you have to have a passing grade in all three. So all three grades have to be passing for you to pass the course. In addition, Deltec Science Department has another policy about labs. In the spring and fall semester, if you miss 3 labs, or in the summer accelerated semester, you miss only 2 labs, you automatically fail the course. So make sure you get all your labs in order to avoid this kind of outcome. Remember, you're absolutely allowed to have tutors help you on the labs and the problem sets. And finally, if we slide up to the blue menu and select the last item, Help, and we click on that, we see a menu bar that has several different types of assistance and support links, including D2L and technology help, and another link to the virtual support center that I already showed you. That's student support at the bottom that I strongly recommended you take a look at earlier. So, in closing, if you have any questions, please contact me by my email, mg.taylor@dtcc.edu, or our office hours, or my hours at the Virtual Tutoring Center. I look forward to meeting each of you. Hopefully you can make a brief appearance at some point during the office hours or during my time at the VTC during the first week so that we can meet. You only have to come by for a minute, say hi, tell me about your thoughts and concerns. And with that, I thank you so much for your patience and wish you the very best with your success at Deltec.